Hello, my name is Brian, and today I'm going to talk a little about antler restriction in New York and why I think the New York State needs to develop an antler restriction program for deer hunting. It's time the New York State Department of Conservation, who is responsible for protecting and enforcing the environment, wake up and improve hunting conditions in our state. As an avid hunter who spends a lot of time in the deer woods during the months of October and November, I think we can all agree that on our target we'd like to shoot during the deer season. Here's a little quote that I found that kind of fits my topic, and it starts off, if you take a kid fishing or hunting, you never have to hunt nor fish for them in the streets. I just found that appropriate, that people that hunt try to stay out of trouble. So here's a little picture of a mature buck. It's probably 4.5 years old. It's what I feel most hunters in New York and all over the country want to hunt, and I think by proposing an antler restriction, it would help New York State produce bigger bucks. And here's a picture of a smaller buck. It's probably 1.5 years old, and currently many 1.5 years old bucks are being taken in New York, and I feel that people need to start passing them so they can grow onto the much bigger buck. We all need to support antler restrictions in New York State if we want to generate a healthier deer herd and better hunting opportunities. I am proposing that legal bucks are required to have at least 3 1-inch tines on one side before being harvested. With this restriction in place, it would protect around 70% of young bucks being shot, as well as creating a balanced ratio of bucks to does in the deer woods. By passing this law, an antler restriction, it would allow more antler deer to reach maturity. Antler restriction laws would also create healthier and stronger deer herds with increasing chances of hunters tagging trophy bucks. My goal is to harvest trophy-sized bucks and seeing stronger and healthier deer herds. Many opponents against antler restrictions believe this would be unfair for those hunters who have limited time to spend in the deer woods, and that there's restrictions could be difficult for them to harvest a deer because they're not being able to hunt. I disagree with this logic and would rather see hunters follow my belief and let the bucks grow. The same hunters harvesting young bucks would much rather shoot a larger buck with more horns, but there are just not many available at this time in New York. But if hunters would just be patient and pass and let these deer grow a couple of years, they would become evident that bigger bucks were produced. Many avid hunters are going on hunting trips to different states, such as Ohio, Illinois, Kansas, and in just a few years, New York could be a state that could have larger deer. Hunters are traveling to these states, and they're spending a lot of money in tractor and hunting licenses and hotels and stuff like that. And I feel that if New York was had a bigger deer herd and bigger bucks, that much of the money that people are spending in other states could come back into our own state. Hunters love antlers, and every hunter in the woods on opening day is hoping to see a big buck. Dead deer don't grow. We need to stop shooting them before they have a chance to mature. I interviewed a few people around the areas that I hunt. 9 people were in favor of the antler restriction, while 1 wasn't. Main reasons for people that were in favor were because they watch all these hunting shows and they see bigger bucks, and they want to have New York have the same opportunity to shoot a big buck. The person that didn't want an antler restriction, he feared that many of the hunters who normally shoot a smaller buck would then shoot a doe, and the deer herd would decrease. One hunter that does want the antler restriction, he practices quality deer management, and he feels that many of the deer he's trying to grow into a larger deer are going to the neighbor's property and they're getting shot. Here's a little graph that I found on the internet. It states that in 1990 through 2000, 52% of the bucks taken were a year and a half old, while only 14% of bucks being taken were at a mature 4.5 years old. And today, 16% of bucks that are taken are Today, 18% of deer harvested are 3.5 years old. So I'd like to urge all of you to write a letter to the New York State Department of Environment at 625 Broadway Avenue in Albany, New York, to state your favor of an antler restriction. The goal must be to increase the age structure of bucks without reducing the deer population. Antler size will increase with age, where young bucks, 1.5 years old, will grow antlers only about 20% of when they were mature. So please take time and send your letters. So, in a few sources that I used were Bowhunter Magazine, New York Outdoor News, New York State DEC, and Field and Stream. Thank you.